As she was going home, a guard walked up to her saying his boss sent him to pick her up. She knew it was Jong-woo immediately. Jong-woo says, "I thought you wouldn't come." She replied, "I wouldn't dare offend you knowing your influence." Jong-woo says, "You're very clever. Looks like tonight's deal is a success." She asked what deal. He said, "I want you to make me harvesting robots for Red Dew." Soo-yen says, "Back then you studied medicine to save lives. What happened to you?" Jong-woo says, "Soo-yen, don't look at me like that. People are unpredictable." Soo-yen says, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." As she was about leaving, he called her and says, "You don't have a choice, Soo-yen. You either help me with harvesting robots or you drink a double dose of Red Dew here." She took the glass and drank everything, then left. Immediately she left. Jong-woo's assistant said, "That was the cure for Red Dew, master. Why didn't you tell her?" Jong-woo says, "She hates me already. She wouldn't accept my help if I told her." Meeting Jong-woo remembered her of Lu Chen. She really missed him. It's been so long. Suddenly Zu Chen came and put a jacket over her. Soo-yen says, "First time driving on the road. Pretty easy, huh?" Zu Chen says, "I know you're not in a good mood. What happened?" She rested her head on his shoulder and said, "Zu Chen, there's someone I miss. I know I won't see him again, but I can't stop thinking about him. Should I really forget him?" Zu Chen says, "Yes, you should. I'm right here with you." The next morning, Soo-yen left home leaving him alone. He was quite bored and started looking for things to keep him busy, but will regularly go check the window if she's back. He heard footsteps and immediately ran to the door to meet Soo-yen before she got there. Seeing him barefoot, Soo-yen says, "You didn't enter sleep mode when I left." Zu Chen says, "Yes, I thought you would be back soon." As he was about leaving to serve her lunch, Soo-yen told him not to bother, that she would be leaving soon. Zu Chen says with a sad look, "You're leaving again?" Seeing him like this, Soo-yen thought he might be lonely at home. Even though he was not programmed to, she told him to get ready and follow her, and he should take off the collar. When they arrived, Soo-yen introduced him to her friend as a distant relative, making her confused, cause she knows she didn't have any. Seeing how focused he was looking at the duck, Soo-yen says, "That's a robot pet duck. You can go check it out." Soo-yen's friend drew her close, asking if Zu Chen has a girlfriend. Soo-yen thought to herself, "He's a robot, how could he have one?" She looked at her friend and said, "Don't forget you have a boyfriend. Don't think anything funny." Looking at him, Soo-yen thought to herself, Zu Chen looks and personality is quite different from the other Puel robots. If he wasn't one, I would really fall in love with him. Soo-yen's friend handed Zu Chen tea, but he didn't know what to do with it. He can only drink electrolyte water. Soo-yen, seeing this, told her friend, "Zu Chen can handle heat." There are only 2 rooms and she had to share one with Zu Chen. She threw him a blanket to sleep on the floor and said good night. Thinking she was sleeping, Zu Chen says, "Soo-yen, you don't need me anymore. You don't eat my food and you leave me alone at home, which is fair, because I'm just a robot, not a real human. It's me asking for trouble, expecting what I shouldn't." Suddenly a voice said, "Are you done talking?" He found out it was Soo-yen. She says, "If the ground is too cold, come sleep close to me." Seeing him close, Soo-yen couldn't help but touch him. He really looks no different from a real human. Seeing he was coming close, Soo-yen says, "I'm tired. Just hug me to sleep." Zu Chen says, "Soo-yen, can we sleep together every night?" She said yes. Zu Chen says, "My heart is beating fast." Soo-yen says, "Stop talking nonsense. Robots don't have a heart." He brought her hand close to his chest and says, "I'm really happy close to you, Soo-yen." The next morning, they went for an auction, where they were selling latest Puel model robots. Soo-yen couldn't help but say to herself, there are 1 to 99 models. How come Zu Chen is the extra unit? Seeing them, Zu Chen says, "They are all Puel robots. Am I same with them?" Soo-yen says, "Of course not. You're my distant relative." When they got home that evening, Zu Chen caged her against a wall and said, "Am I really your distant relative, Soo-yen?" Su Yan says, "You care so much about what I think of you." When 12 robots were made, there was 3 principles installed in them. First, they can't initiate intimacy. Second, they can't initiate kissing. Third, they won't initiate intimate behavior. Su Yan says, "What a pity. You can't forget the second rule." Zhu Chen rested his head on her shoulders, frustrated, making her smile. Su Yan switched places with him, taking him unaware. She kissed him and said, "You can now kiss me first." And they had a very long night. After shower, Zhu Chen blew dry her hair. He hugged her and said, "I had my first kiss with you today. I'm so happy. I want to sleep close to you today." Su Yan says, "Sure, but I'm tired. Don't think anything naughty." Zhu Chen says, "How about tomorrow?" Su Yan says, "Let's see how tomorrow goes." Seeing how she hesitated and using past analysis, Yu Chen was sure tomorrow will be fun. Seeing him waiting for her, Su Yan says, "I'm not going home now. I want to meet up with Zhou Yi. You know him, right?" Zhu Chen says yes. Su Yan says, "That's good. Drive me there." Zhu Chen thought to himself, "I almost forgot you had more outstanding man." When she arrived, she was shocked when Zhou Yi told her he quit. Zhu Yan asked if they didn't release new models recently. Why was he quitting? Zhou Yi says, "This Puel didn't meet the normal standards but was pushed into the market by Jushi. When I confronted him, he fired me." Su Yan asked what he meant by they didn't meet the standards. Zhou Yi says, "They can't carry out orders. If they do, they always do the opposite. Tell them to pick a box and they will tear it." He asked if Zhu Chen has been experiencing violent behavior. Su Yan says no. Su Yan says, "I don't think Zhu Chen belongs to the Puel model. Its personality and looks are quite different from the other robots." While they were talking, Jushi walked in and says, "Because you resigned doesn't mean you can divulge informations to outsiders, Zhou Yi. Why don't you go and hand over your things?" Zhu Chen walked over. Seeing him, Jushi says, "How come you drag your little puppy with you wherever you go? Don't tell me you're beginning to fall for a robot expecting him to have human emotions. You're being delusional, Su Yan." Su Yan says, "How I see robots has nothing to do with you, Jushi. You pushed the latest Puel robots for sale. Do you know how dangerous that is?" Jushi says, "Stop being naive, Su Yan. In this industry you have to do what you have to do to make enough money." Seeing her quiet, Jushi says, "How about we go sit down and talk about it?" But Zhu Chen waved his hands off and said, "Don't touch her." Jushi says, "A robot threatening a human. How fascinating. Let go or I will call the police." Su Yan says, "He belongs to me, Jushi. You don't have that right." Jushi says, "Do you really treat him like a human? If he breaks, I will buy you another one." He was about to punch Zhu Chen, but Zhu Chen attacked him first, shocking Su Yan. Su Yan says, "Why did you attack when I didn't tell you to? This is the first time I've seen him lose emotional control." Zhu Chen says, "Because I don't like him." Su Yan asked why. Zhu Chen says, "Because he's hurting you." But that wasn't the only reason. He was close to Su Yan before, just like he is now. He hates him and any man close to her. Su Yan couldn't help but notice how Zhu Chen was beginning to act more human. That evening she went to visit her friend. While they talked about casual stuffs, Su Yan asked if she wasn't going to drive her home. Her friend said, "Not anymore. Isn't he here to pick you up?" Her friend said, "He's a robot, isn't he? Back at the farm. He neither ate nor drank anything. I guessed early on." Su Yan apologized for not telling her the truth. Her friend says it's okay but continued, "Su Yan, even a blind person can see he really likes you." Su Yan says, "Robots don't have feeling." Her friend says, "Did you forget the dream you had with Lu Chen about robots having emotions one day? Go give it a try." Su Yan walked over to meet him. Seeing her, he put a scarf round her neck, saying there's cold. Looking at him, Su Yan suddenly asked, "Do you like me?" Zhu Chen says, "According to the third rule, I can't." Su Yan says, "It's okay. I'm single. You can confess." Zhu Chen says, I like you, Su Yan. I really like you. I really, really like you a lot. Making her smile.